You are now tuned in to DM3 Entertainment. So let's talk about it. Hey, don't forget to hit that like and that subscribe. Let's go. What's up, YouTube? It's your man, AD, better known to the world as Smooth DJ Abdullah the Butcher. Okay, with that being said, I'm here to give you the recap on Power Book 4, Force. And before I do that, like Jay-Z said, I gave you prophecy on my first joint, but you're all lamed out. You didn't appreciate it, but yo, the second one's out. So I'm about to give you the second episode, and I'm like I said, recap it. Spoilers, because I'm gonna be talking about it, and if you ain't see it, you might as well cut this off now. Go watch the show, and then come back and see what my reaction is. So the episode starts like this. Tommy's sitting on the pier, looking over the skyline of Chicago. And as he does that, he's thinking back about all the time in New York. Pulls out his phone, right? And he's looking at Lakeisha, remembering the times with her. And, he's looking pictures of Lakeisha, him and Cash. And then, they swarm in on a picture showing a bar, and a black car pulls up at the bar. And homeboy pulls out this Uzi with the silence on it and just airs the bar out, right? And you're figuring it must be Shorty's bar that was messing with Tommy from last episode, thinking that we thought she wasn't going to get no repercussions. But I guess it possibly could have been her bar. But so they go back to Tommy, right? And Tommy gets a phone call. And the phone call at first, I'm like, who is this? Who is this, right? Come to figure it out is his brother. And his brother, has a situation where it was his bar and club that the place got shot up and whatnot. And, him and his brother start kicking it and talking. And he was like, yo, what is this, like some kind of drug front or whatnot? And his brother was like, why you got to think it's a drug front, And Tommy is like, throughout his history, anytime somebody hits a bar and you not paying for no protection and whatnot, that tends to equal a drug front in Tommy's eyes. But his brother was like, nah, I own this bar with my pops, and my pops is in the hospital sick and whatnot, and it takes a lot of money to be trying to keep things up, and I done got hit by 3 or 4 times since I've been up in here. And he drops the joint about his husband, his ex-husband ain't rocking with him. So like I told you, I'll be dropping jewels on y'all, make y'all understand that y'all being somewhat brainwashed by paying attention to the fact of like, why would they have to make the character, bisexual or fluid or whatnot? That's unnecessary. He just let the dude be a man taking care of man business. That's just how I see it. And but what's crazy is they make the most masculine voiced brother into, a LGBTQ type cat, But Tommy hooks him up with some money, gives it to him, and says he'll get back to him, try to help him out, get the spot correct. So, Tommy, bounces out of there, and we're wondering where's he gonna get money from. And, Tommy rides past this spot that says Felice. So he's like, yo, that might be my, what we thinking is this is probably gonna be probably Tommy's new setup where he gonna be at, So then they show a part where the Flynn family, the big time antagonist in the show, he's at his house, mansion, whatever you want to call it, and he's taking pills, medicine. He's getting a call from the doctor saying that he still got issues, and he's starting to feel a little bad. And the son sees him, try to look out for him and help him out, And he's like, as you know, your typical man is, don't want to go to the doctor, don't want to. He just want to say, yo, it's a little, it ain't really all that much. I'll work it out. And the son is like, yo, you need to tell, his sister about it. And he was like, nah, she don't need to know nothing about that. We'll just keep on doing what we doing. I'm all right. And then, if I do pass away, I want you to take over the business and run things like we've been doing, So that's, so that what goes on with him and the father. So then now they come to a part where the two brothers, the melanated brothers, the one that got out of prison, Diamond, and his brother are at the barbershop, and the younger brother's trying to introduce him to some shooters, some young boys that he wanted to get down. And then the older brother's like, I'm not trying to deal with no wildcats, dudes that can't be controlled, and all they're going to do is bring more bodies. And, with bodies, messes up business, That's anything. If anybody when it's beef, you make no money when it's beef. So he trying to keep things on a low cut, everything chill, and the younger brother really don't understand that that's not how you handle business. But being younger, they don't got the wisdom that the older cats have, and that's one of the issues we have with the community now, is that we don't got the older men to tell the young men to think wiser and do things better. But after seeing that, Tommy's walking down the alley and he gets jumped by this Puerto Rican girl, and she's like, yo, how'd you find me? And come to find out, it's one of the characters from Power. I don't know if it was season 2 or 3, but it was one of the characters that Ghost or one of Ghost's people let go. And I guess she showed up in Chicago, but she thought Tommy was coming there to kill her. So that was kind of crazy. And they kept going back and forth until a cop came and they had to chill. You know how if you don't do nothing, cops really can't mess with you. So that's what happened with that situation. And then we come back and we see the sexy young lady that Tommy messed with that owned the bar. That we thought earlier that was her club getting shot up, but it wasn't. But she, coming out the shower, smelling good and looking good, and end up it's at her house, it's at her place. And Vic, which is the antagonist's son, he's at her spot. But I guess they had a relationship and everything, and they he's trying to rekindle things, and she's like, slow it down, I'm not like trying to go there with you, because first of all, you being Irish and your family being Irish, and they want pure blood, to continue the business going. And me being a melanated woman and you being an Irish boy, that ain't gonna work out too good with the family. So I think that we need to pump our brakes, and you need to, even though I love you and all that, I don't think it's going to work out. And that's pretty much what she was trying to tell him. But, him being Irish and being stubborn, he still want to do what he want to do. And he figured he'll figure a way to work it out. But we'll see how that goes. 'Cause I think what we're going to get is a little love triangle action. Tommy, Victor, and the young lady. That's what I'm thinking as the show goes on. But I'm telling you, this show, honestly, just a little bit of time that I've been watching episode 2 and checking everything out, I think this is really going to be a good dynamic show, a show that's really going to show us lots of layers to a good drama. So now, Tommy pops up into the brothers' barbershop, and Tommy's like, I got some business, he got some ideas that only Tommy knows. Everybody else don't know what Tommy's doing, but Tommy got to get that money for his brother, for his bar. So let's see where Tommy goes with this. So they're like, yo, what you doing here? And he's like, yo, I just, he came back to bring their drugs to him, and they wonder what's up with that. And he was like, first of all, the drugs are stepped on like crazy, so I don't even need all that. And, Tommy just getting, acquainted with these cats, like, how Tommy do stuff, So they go back and forth, they talk, they kick it. And Little man, one of the dudes that's like a little security, he don't know who they messing with. This Tommy Egan we talking about, So, they go back and forth, they talk, they figure things out, and Tommy is just being Tommy. One other crazy dynamic that happens while they're at the barbershop, one dude tries to test Tommy, and then, Tommy gets into his gangster ways of being real aggressive, and he grabs the dude up, and then the two wild individuals, the young boys that's known for being muscle, they come in acting crazy, and they like, we ain't gonna stop nothing until we get the word, and you can see that the power dynamic is all messed up because Diamond is supposed to be the leader, then the younger brother is getting more respect than Diamond, but Diamond got a real good head on the shoulder, so he understands that he gonna put everything in a place like they should be. So he lets the brother handle the business, and he says, him and Tommy leave, and they go and they start talking and getting connected. And then what's crazy, while they outside talking, this car rolls up, pulls the guns on them, throws hoods on their heads, and takes them somewhere. And we're like, man, what is this all about? Come to find out, if y'all remember from episode 1, Jay, who got the YouTube channel, who's on the show, I guess they're his people, and they come and try to strong arm Diamond and Tommy, and not knowing who they mess with, Tommy hits one of them upside the head, headbutts him backwards, and they tell him, yo, we need y'all to push this weight and get this money up for us, or there's gonna be some problems. So, at first they were gonna keep Tommy, and he was like, yo, I need Tommy, he's my wingman, he's my driver. So they let that go and they go off and go handle this business with this whole getting this money for their boss. But he did tell them, the streets is hot out here, and Tommy's noticing that Chicago is a wild place. Mad, he just breaking down how many shootings is going on regular. That's what Diamond is telling Tommy, and he's like, yeah, it's definitely a jungle out here in Chicago. Meanwhile, Vic and his sister is counting up the money and doing family business, and the sister talks to Vic about, getting some better product, and Vic is like, Dad ain't gonna go for that. Dad wants you just to do the books and the money and make sure everything is straight. But they definitely show the dynamic of how ladies want to be, aggressive and want to be masculine with the behavior. So she's trying to push her way into doing things. Her father and them was like, we don't want you doing that. We want you doing this. And instead of just being cool with being a part of the family business and doing the part they want you to do, she wants to push her way into things that they don't want her to be a part of. And this is an example of how not to be as a female, But like I said, there's always little messages and little hints of brainwashing they try to do and make you try to feel comfortable with what should be going on. But like Vic said, we'll see. You bring it to Dad, see what he gonna say. Well, they pan back into where Tommy and Diamond are in the car driving, and they're going back talking about, the whole life of the drug game and how things are done and how they got into it and what, makes them be who they are, how they do things, and explaining how the younger generation is just too wild and don't understand stuff. And also, Diamond was asking Tommy, "What are you doing here anyway? What is your story?" And Tommy said, "I'm here, to make money." That's what I'm here to do. Now another part of the episode, Diamond and Tommy get pulled over. They got the product in the car, so they're like, man, we about to get in a situation because you know how they do. Black man while driving, getting profiled. So they think they about to be done, and then the cops, pull off on them because I guess something else went down that was more pertinent than pulling a brother over. So they got out on that one, so that worked out. So then they come to the first drop point where Tommy, being smart, he was like, I don't know what's going on here, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna stash the drugs in a close spot, and then when I go in there and talk to them, I'm gonna tell them where it's at and have them go pick it up, just to make sure nothing go crazy and nothing go wild, like nobody, try to rob him for his stuff and he don't get paid. So him and the woman character having a back and forth, pretty much figuring out who each other are, and we all know what Tommy's doing. He's trying to, figure out Chicago and see how things are going. So that's what goes down with that one. As Tommy and Diamond are driving down the road, Diamond's phone rings. He picks up the phone and notices he got his brother and the dudes that's working for Jay, the character, I can't remember what the character's name is called, but his goons kidnapped Diamond's brother, and it's like, yo, we need y'all to get these pickups done. I need them done now, or your brother's dying. So now Tommy and Diamond got to pick up the pace, making sure all these drops get done in a orderly fashion. So Tommy and them now are messing with the Jews. That's another thing was good about this show. It's giving you all the dynamics of the criminal world in Chicago. You got the Irish mob, you got the Jewish mob now, you got the brothers out here doing what they do, and the Hispanics. Everybody's got a little something going on in the streets of Chicago. So that's what's pretty cool with this show. And so Diamond and them are in a rush. So Diamond is thinking Tommy's taking mad long and he's gonna need some backup. He runs up in the little Jewish deli, and just to make sure everything going good, he try to play it off. He's like, yo, let me get some of that pastrami, cut it thin. He was like, yo, let me get some of them cinnamon cookies, just trying to buy some stuff, but at the same time keeping his eye on what's going on with Tommy. But everything ended up okay, just like the first drop, everything worked out well. So the second drop is working out good. And him and Tommy, get the money and they get up out of there with their pastrami and their cookies and the money from the package. So that was all good, and they got up out of there. After Tommy and them get up out of the Jewish deli, the show goes right into where the Flynns are back to doing business at the house, and the daughter is trying to come at the dad, and just like Vic told him, Pops ain't going for that. And Pops is like, this is the problem. You keep trying to stick your nose in somewhere where we don't want you to be in. You're in a room that people don't want you in, so you need to just stay out. So that's like an example. Like I said, the example is, especially for ladies, y'all got to realize, we understand that y'all are smart. We understand that y'all are strong. We understand that you can do for self. But some things are put into structure for a reason. Family is set the way family is, so play the position that you have. Stop trying to play a position that's not necessary for you, And this is one thing that this show is trying to show you from a family standpoint. The father's in charge, and the son is doing the muscle, and the girl is doing the paperwork and the business side of things, and everything works out well. And Sometimes if, women understand that, then everything would be good. And this is how we're going to see as the show goes on. So, they get back to Tommy and them, and Tommy and them show up at the next drop-off spot. But this time it's at, a spot where the fiends get smoked out or whatever, because the place is all dark and gloomy, looking like a little crack house, or because Pete crack is kind of old now, so people ain't really smoking all that. But probably a meth spot or smoking, shooting up heroin or something of that nature. So Tommy's like, yo, I got business to handle. Let's go. Homeboy takes a bump off the drugs and basically passes out. And Tommy's like, yo, man, I need this money and you passing out over here. So Tommy had to go through Homeboy pockets and get the money out. And he got the money and then they got up out of there. Oh, but what was crazy, while Tommy's dealing with that, there's some more nonsense that goes on outside. And to me, like I said, it was good that the show put this in here to make it aware that it's not easy out in these streets for melanated people. This cop comes and pulls. The dude's already parked, so the cop comes over and messes with him, talking about, I seen you texting and driving, and homeboy's like, I wasn't even driving, the car was parked. And then the cop gets into his mode that they be in, where speak when spoken to, do what I tell you to do, don't say nothing. And my man was like, I got my hands on the wheel, and I'm not, I don't feel comfortable taking my hands off the wheel. And the cop was like, well, do what I say. He pulls his gun out, for what reason? And he's just real aggressive, like really wilding for no reason. But we know why he was doing that. And I'm glad the show showed that. So when Tommy comes outside, homeboy gets a whole nother demeanor. He's all nice. Yo, bro, what's up? Can I see your ID, your registration? All nice and everything. But when it was with Diamond, it was on some old racial bull crap. Shit is crazy. But I just glad that they put that part in there, so the people that be watching the show that don't come from the ghetto or come from hard places that melanated black people have to deal with, they see how it is out here. And this is real talk. This is not just for TV. This is the things that melanated people deal with all the time. So Tommy and them finally finished with all the drops, and they headed back to give over the money, and they show up in some building like a hall or something, and they got the red dots all on them, and the dudes is like giving them money, acting real rude and crazy. So Diamond throws them the money, they get their money back, and they bounce out of there with their brother, and everything is all good. But they just don't know who they messing with when it comes to Tommy. But we'll talk about that in a minute. So when they get back, they break Tommy off with his money and tell him everything was good. And Tommy's like, yo, everything's cool. Because, Tommy loved this kind of stuff. Tommy loves the wild part when it comes to the streets. So him and Diamond have some words. They talk, and he was like, I think Diamond was like, I owe you one, and everything goes where it's supposed to go, and Tommy goes about his business. So now Tommy gets back, or he goes back to his brother's spot, because now he got the money. So his brother is like staying at their old grandma's place. And he's like, yo, you remember anything? And Tommy is like, nah, not really. But then they show this couch with the plastic on it. And now anybody that's grew up in the 80s and the 90s remember grandparents having that plastic on their couch. And back in the day, you would sit on it, and if it was hot outside, that plastic stuck to you, And I remember I had an aunt that had a couch like that. And so they just had a little joke on that part. And then Tommy gives his brother the money, and at first, his brother's like, he ain't messing with it, trying to be, honorable or whatnot. But Tommy was like, I'm gonna look out for you, So boom, he gives him the money. So then the brother shows him this old VHS tape, and on the VHS tape, it's Tommy when he was a little kid, and Tommy's mom when she was younger. And, those two are putting all the pieces together and, figuring out their brotherly connection. And then one brother was like, I ain't never have no brother. And then, Tommy was like, I had a brother, speaking on ghosts, So making that connection from the other show to this show, always giving you a little memory of Ghost when it comes to Tommy and their relationship. Then the brother also talks about, how he couldn't understand how his mom would leave him in Chicago and have a son and not even talk to him or anything. And he was like, I got a son and I try to always be in my son's life and be with him. But then when I got divorced from my wife, so my man, has to be bisexual because one, he had a husband, then he had an ex-wife. And he was talking about how his son is 16 and, he hasn't seen him and he really doesn't know what he's up to. But remember I told you earlier about the Uzi sticking out the window? Well, they show this other kid that's like walking down an alleyway somewhere, and the kid has a Uzi, and he has a picture of Tommy's brother, and the kid is on the shoulders of the brother. So it come to find out that it's probably his son that's shooting up his club because the boy probably doesn't understand his father's side and he's probably bitter, and that happens a lot of times when boys are taken from their fathers and they only get the one side of what their mom has to say, and the son resents his father. And so now we got that dynamic going on where the son, not knowing what's going on, is having beef with his dad instead of trying to confront him and talk to him and figure out. So we're going to see what happens with that part of the story. So like I said, the writers are doing a pretty good job. Now, I told you earlier, them Spanish cats didn't know who they was messing with when they was messing with Tommy. So they come to this part where Tommy is sitting on the hood of a car and there's people like banging on the car talking about, let me out, you don't know who you messing with, Nah, they don't know who they messing with. So Tommy have them in the trunk. And as they're in the trunk, banging on the trunk, Tommy takes a bottle of liquor, pours it under the car, makes like a trail of liquor going away from the car. Then Tommy drops the bottle, lights a cigarette, takes the lighter, drops it on the trail of liquor, and the liquor rolls toward the car, and poof, the car goes up in flames. And Tommy, boom, the car blows up. So Tommy's like, boom, Chicago, I'm here. It's about to be real fire up in this spot. So Tommy shows back up at the barbershop, shows the shirt that the Spanish cat was wearing to let them know I took care of that. I handled that. You know what I'm saying? And Cameron voice. Brothers die every day, B. So now they owe Tommy another favor. And then, they get to this other part, getting close to the end of the show, where Tommy goes back to Shorty's bar, the one that, little sexy Shorty I be telling y'all about, Vic's, basically Vic's lady. And they start talking and they start kicking it. And, they talk about how she wanted to open up a restaurant, but she took the bar instead. And then Tommy was like, are you getting protection from the Irish cats? Because, I could protect you. And she was like, nah, I'm good. Everything is everything. I don't need no protection. That's what sisters tend to tell brothers all the time. But I say, sisters, y'all got to, cut that out and let a brother protect you sometime. Find that one you're going to be with and ride or die with him and let him be that man for you. And you definitely will be protected. So from there, Vic is in there checking it out through the window. And, he getting pissed and he mad, and Tommy's still, being Tommy. And that's how that works out. All right, so there's a couple more scenes before the show is over where Tommy is riding And you're like yourself, you're like, okay, where's he going? He's riding around. He's new to Chicago, so he don't know too many people. He's been to his brother's crib, and he's been to the barber shop, and he's been to the bar. Oh, so what happens? He ends up back at that spot where it said for lease. So Tommy figured, hey, I gotta get me a spot to be at. So he end up going to where the cat who owns the spot, which is staying up in there, and it's like, yo, I'm going to basically take your spot and you got to go. Hits him up with some money. Homeboy slickly be like, I could go, but I, kind of can't hear. So he puts the money to his ear, meaning he wants some more money. So Tommy's like, whatever, gives him the money, tells homeboy to bounce, and he pulls the gun out so homeboy know that he not about games, he's serious about this. And so basically now Tommy's got a spot where his location is around, where he can get to everybody that he's been connected to so far. So that works out really good. Okay, so now that Tommy has his place and where he's going to be at, he makes one more stop to remember the shorty that he ran into in the alleyway. He goes to her spot, and they tussle back and forth, and they get to fighting and whatnot. And Tommy hits some part of the floorboard where she's staying at, and comes to find out that she not only did she get saved by Ghost or one of their associates back when Ghost was letting people go free, she took some dope from Lobos, and she's got mad keys under the floorboards. And Tommy just goes, man, every time we let somebody go, it's always some kind of issues we got to deal with, repercussions after we done let somebody go for free. And it ends off like that. And that's the episode 2. So y'all know what to do. Hit the like, hit the subscribe. And remember, if you didn't see my first episode recap, go back and check it out. And I'll catch everybody later. And peace. Subscribe, like, and share.